All right, friends, welcome back to Super Sodium Brothers.
Welcome back has a nice ring to it. This is episode 2. We're back. We're back, bitch.
You thought you'd never see us again?
Joke's on you.
Mm-hmm. Everybody was begging for more. Dude, my DMs were blowing up. Give me more. When's the next one? I said, this weekend, baby. Get ready.
It's happening.
Cancel plans.
We had some good feedback on the first episode, so that was really cool. I had a lot of fun shooting it too. Yeah, it's easy. This is our domain. We're salty. We talk about video games.
This is where we live. You know? It was also it was funny too because we met up. We're like, all right, let's record an hour. Let's do an hour. And 2 hours in, we were like, all right, we gotta get some dinner. You boys hungry?
We gotta eat. We did. I still feel like, you know, even like looking at our notes, like I still feel like we could have like gone long. Like we had more to talk about.
Easily another 2 hours. We could have done a full Rogan with a nice.
You never go full Rogan.
You never go. We could have. Not on the first episode.
We could have. But I canceled my order for ivermectin, so we're not going full Rogan.
Speaking of going, I mean, before we get into the meat and potatoes of today's podcast, before you go full Rogan, you never want to go full Kanye.
Oh my God, never go full Kanye. My God.
Dude, when he tweeted out that he was going DEFCON 3 on Jews, man, he really meant it. He is not pulling any punches. And for all the listeners at home, I'm of Jewish descent. So I don't know.
I'm not, but I don't hate Jews like Kanye does, apparently.
So yeah, we get to talk about this.
Yeah, it gives me some authority, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right.
My best friend's Jewish. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it, I mean, get on YouTube and watch this. Kanye went on Alex Jones's InfoWars show, which is just, you know, all conspiracies and a ton of nonsense. Sorry, Alex.
You know, gay frogs, you know, the whole thing. Chemtrails.
Yeah, the whole nine. Lizards infiltrating the Democratic Party and Pizzagate. Lots of crazy conspiracies out there. And he goes on Alex Jones' show, and it looks like he's wearing, it's like a black mask, but it looks like one of those textbook covers you used to put on your books in high school. So he's got this.
That's a good description. It's like a ski mask without the holes.
Yeah, but it's that thin, like see-through fabric almost, and he's got glasses on too, which is hilarious. It's hard to tell if they're yeah. Hard to tell if they're.
You gotta be able to see through the fabric, you know.
I fucking guess so, man. And he just gets on the show and just starts talking about how much he loves Hitler. Like he went there. He was like, I love Hitler.
Yeah, I think one of the craziest, like reading it on paper, like reading the words, like I know this is true. The transcripts, there's receipts, and like I know this is real, but like reading this is a verbatim quote. I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis. Kanye West in 2022 said the words, "I love Nazis." That's
who is he trying to appeal to? Who is he trying
apparently
to win
both
over?
Jews and Nazis. He's playing both sides, so no matter what, he comes out on top, or so he thought.
Is he still planning on running for president in 2024? Do Nazis go out and vote? Is that an untapped like voter market? Like what the fuck is he doing?
I don't know where his head was at.
You ever
seen? But it's concerning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. There's clearly an absence of medication in this interview. And honestly, it's crazy, too, because Alex Jones is the king of conspiracies. And even he's like, oh, well, gotta disagree with you there, Kanye. Got it. Well, I don't like Nazis. I don't like Hitler.
You know, if Alex Jones is disagreeing with walking himself back from your conspiracies and your vitriol, then there's a problem. There is danger, Will Robinson.
You know, hate speech is not okay.
No, it's not.
It's not. But
no, it's definitely not.
You could talk all the shit and spout all the hate you want, against Nazis, right?
Fuck Nazis.
They're the fucking worst of the last century.
We fought a world war over it, and we all agreed.
They are the most evil and fucked up entity that humanity's encountered in the last 100 years. And there's been some good, there's been some contenders for sure. But the Nazis, they're the worst of the worst. That's why in video games, when you're playing like Call of Duty World War II, you just shoot the Nazis and you feel good about it, right?
Feels pretty good.
Captain America punching Nazis, beating Nazis up. Oh, you just love it because they're the worst.
Red Skull, fuck them.
So for him to side with like, if this is a publicity stunt, it's working, man, because he's got people talking about him.
Also, reading the article about all this, he didn't say Def Con 3. He said death with a TH.
He said
Def Con 3. There's a post on Instagram since deleted, in which he said he would go Death Con 3 on Jewish people. I don't know if that's a little Freudian slip, or he doesn't know what DEF CON is.
No, yeah, I think he's just showing his intelligence there. He's not this
or lack thereof.
Genius. He made some really good music in like the early to mid 2000s. Like he's not a member of Mensa. He's not a fucking genius. He's a fucking idiot.
He should win the inaugural whatever the opposite of Mensa is. We should make, like there's like the Razzies where you get like, so it's like the opposite of the Oscars,
the dummies,
like for worst actor,
the dummy awards.
Right. Yeah, there should be something like that for our man.
Who would be in the running this year? Kanye.
Well, Kanye would win.
That
Kanye is the Elden Ring of the opposite of Mensa, the dummies.
Oh my god, yeah, it's just a shoe-in, right?
Obviously.
I keep thinking about I found this kid on YouTube who stands on a table and jumps onto like light bulbs, and he jumps onto piles of barbed wire, or he jumps onto a microwave, and this is his whole deal. And I just keep thinking about this kid and how much he reminds me of Kanye's stunts lately, just like someone really going out of their way to hurt themselves at all costs.
He's yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I hate to say it, it's been very entertaining. Absolutely, anti-Semitism is not okay. The Jewish people have suffered greatly for hundreds and thousands of years.
Quit sympathizing with Nazis, people, namely Kanye.
Yeah,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah, cut that shit out. I feel like that's got to be our baseline, right? I gotta say, anti-Semitism
I think
is bad, inexcusable.
Yeah, if we can all come to an agreement that Nazis suck, we can work from there, right?
That's a good baseline. Even when you disagree with people, if you could find something that you agree with, you could work from there. I like apples. Nazis. I like oranges. We both hate Nazis. All right, now we can take a seat at the table.
Exactly.
Now we can talk.
Fuck Nazis. Birthday cake Oreos are great, and Elden Ring is most likely going to win Game of the Year. In 2022.
Some people say, I want God of War Ragnarok Game of the Year. I want Elden Ring Game of the Year. Man, I love killing Nazis in video games. Okay, cool.
But I also love killing Melania in Elden Ring.
Oh, what a boss fight! They nailed it.
It didn't matter what run my original playthrough, my new game plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. She annihilated me a lot. You were there for a lot of it.
Yeah, dude,
we didn't do well.
Melania is one of those bosses. If she gets you in a combo, no matter how large her health pool is, she's going to wreck your ass.
What is it? The waterfowl dance, that blade dance? I think over every single run of all my new game pluses, of every run I did, I'm pretty sure I only ever beat her when she didn't hit me with that blade dance.
Yeah, you really need RNGesus on your side for her to not use that combo. Because there are some like big brain people out there who could dodge it perfectly, but that's not me. That's not you.
Ultra Instinct Goku?
Somebody, yeah.
Not me. Let Me Solo Her. I mean, they're the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Ultra Instinct Goku and Let Me Solo Her.
Oh,
basically the same person.
What a legend. So, all right. Legend. So, real quick, for those of you who don't know, we're talking about a little game called Elden Ring.
Little indie. Anyone heard of it?
Yeah, kind of a big deal. How many copies sold? It was from Software and Miyazaki, who's done the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne and Sekiro, and they came out with Elden Ring as a new open world third-person RPG, mythical fantasy realm, very Lord of the Rings-esque, and just a brilliant game. A massive map takes place in the lands between on this massive continent. I mean,
fucking gorgeous too.
Just
the art,
amazing artwork, amazing gameplay. I mean, an encyclopedia's worth of lore to discover and read about and watch.
Literally keeps VaatiVidya in business.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, friends. Check them out on YouTube. We should put a link for their YouTube in the podcast. Check them out.
I absolutely will.
They have amazing hour-long videos just breaking down Elden Ring lore, and it's pretty awesome.
He's got a voice like butter.
Yeah, he really.
You can listen to this man talk forever.
So let's see. As of November 2022, Elden Ring sold
17.5
million copies.
Million copies. I think what's even crazier is it sold 12 million units in the first 2 weeks.
That's insane.
So the game's been out for, was it 6 months at this point? When did it come out?
February of 2022.
Was that the beginning of the year? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the first 2 weeks of its launch, 12 million copies, and then another 5.5 million rolled in throughout the rest of the year.
All those 12 million people were able to convince 5 million friends to be like, yo, you should get this. It's pretty good.
That's wild. I mean, I was one of those. I don't play Souls games. I typically don't enjoy them. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give Elden Ring a whirl.
I'm so glad you did, man. I'm so glad you did.
It was so good. Did 150 hours in my first playthrough before beating Elden Beast. I was just having a blast.
I mean, I think that's one of the reasons it deserves Video Game of the Year, which is going to be today's topic, friends. We're going to be talking Game Awards, the Video Game of the Year, and just talking about kind of the state of the video game industry in general. And definitely
the economy
talking about
in some games, microtransactions, yeah, and the economy of some video games have got us particularly salty.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, my cardiologist looking at my charts. He's like, "Dude, the sodium's off the chain." I'm like, "Bro, Game Awards this week."
I can't help it.
He's like, "I understand."
Game Awards and microtransactions in video games. I can't help it.
And the Cheez-Its, but one thing at a time.
Oh, they're so good.
Right? Just classic. The toasted, it's too much. The snapped, white cheddar, just
the bold are too bold.
Right?
That might be the whitest thing I ever said.
Bitter. They taste old, burnt.
Yeah,
not a fan.
A little much. So looking at our nominees for game of the year 2022. I feel like it's only fair to let everybody know of the other nominees.
Yeah,
even though we all know it's being duked. It's going to be a duke out between Elden Ring and God of War Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a Plague Tale Requiem, which was the sequel to the original Plague Tale.
It's supposed to be
got a bunch of rats involved.
Yeah, you play a 18th century this young woman and her younger brother are trying to make it through this plague-ridden world, and the younger brother has a power where he can control the rats a little bit.
He's the Rat King, baby, or the Rat Prince.
So this is the prequel to the Nutcracker, right? And he becomes the Rat King. Okay. Yeah. The jokes are going to get better as we go along, I promise. A Plague Tale Requiem. Elden Ring.
See, you're right. They are getting better already. That was a good one. I like that.
God of War Ragnarok. I mean, a fantastic game. Look, I'm gonna say this as somebody who beat it last week. I don't think they stuck the landing. I
remember as you finished it on stream at twitch.tv/thriller_park. I was like, you look a little disappointed. How do you feel? And you felt a little disappointed.
I love the game. I've got a huge attachment to the characters in the franchise. I don't know why. I'm a big dork for it, and they're good freaking games. One of the most impressive things about God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok is they're all done in one seamless camera shot, even panning from character to character. Just what they've done cinematically and technically wise is super impressive, and I love to see that in video games because it's pushing the boundaries.
And I would honestly say if it doesn't win Game of the Year, which I don't think it will. I do think Elden Ring will win, but if it doesn't, I feel like even if it's not at the Game Awards, I feel like it's going to be getting awards elsewhere. For is cinematography, is that the word for a video game?
There's best,
like it's shot very like it's shot like a movie for a lot of it. Like it's not. You don't get like cutscenes and then like boom, you're back into your game. Like it's structured almost like you are watching a movie. So it's almost got like the cinematography like feel to it. So I feel like at the very least, it's going to be getting awards for how it's how it was produced, because it was a lot of fun to watch. Even though I'm not like the biggest God of War fan, and I really didn't get into God of War 2018, but like I can watch it and appreciate it.
I'll say this:
God damn, it looked good.
Oh my god, it is a fantastic looking game. It runs smooth as butter on PS5. You see every little pore in Kratos' head, and like the lighting. It's really well done. Honestly, the game's up for Game of the Year, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative. I'm pretty sure Best Score and Music. Both the actors for Atreus and Kratos up for Best Performance. I think it's up for Best Action Adventure, which is a category we all love, and a couple other things. So it's gonna get awards. It's gonna go home with something.
Yeah,
Game of the Year.
But I do think the crown's going home with Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Miyazaki's gonna have a nice little trophy to throw up on his mantle.
Yeah, and he freaking earned it. And I started saying this a couple minutes ago. One of the reasons why Elden Ring deserves it is because we each put in 150 hours into Elden Ring, and honestly, making a new character tomorrow would be such a good time, and we would easily be able to kill another 20-30 hours just farting around cooperatively and just having a good time.
We literally played Elden Ring last night.
Yeah, it was
with
great.
Our good friend Jasmine.
Good old Jazz.
Jazz. I love jazz.
The genre and the person. We gotta get her on for a guest star. I don't know. What do you do on a podcast? Just a guest. Just a featured guest.
Yeah. Just a featured guest. Oh, we should do we can do a movie, episode on movies, and we'll just for those of you that don't know Jazz, most everybody as of right now knows Jazz. She's a big movie buff. Mm-hmm. She enjoys movies. Me and her have fairly polar opposite opinions on movies. So I think it would make for a good episode to talk about movies. She likes films. I like movies.
Yeah.
She loves films. There's a difference.
She loves films, and then she let her fiance buy a copy of Star Wars Last Jedi on Blu-ray. So credibility's kind of going out the window.
It's it's an opinion. It's an opinion.
Yeah.
I signed up for Letterboxd, and I followed her on Letterboxd. Her movie of the year so far was Robert Pattinson's The Batman.
Oh fuck yeah! I think mine is too.
Really? Okay.
I loved it. Oh my god.
Fuck me, I guess.
I did. It was 3 hours long, and I didn't want it to end. I'm not even like a huge Batman guy. Like I think Batman's cool, of course. I just thought it was a good movie.
I can hear Jazz cackling at me being in the minority here.
They could have cut some parts out. It didn't need to be 3 hours long.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because my my expectations of the movie weren't met, but not in a bad way. Like I was expecting a Batman movie, and there was only really a couple scenes in the movie that made it feel like a Batman movie, and the rest of it just kind of felt like a noir detective like movie, which isn't bad. That's not an indictment of the what we got, of the product that we got. Mm-hmm. It was just I went in with a very different expectation. Okay. Of what we were getting, and it wasn't that. So it was a good movie. I was just a little surprised to see that it was, of all people, Jazz's #1 movie of 2022 so far.
No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, there are those Batman, like, big spectacle films out there, though, especially recently with Snyder Cut, Justice League, and Batman.
Yeah, but it's not a Batman movie, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, but you get some Batman in there.
We're gonna get Jazz in here, and we're gonna duke this out.
Okay.
But in the spirit of Jazz, one of the other nominees of the person, not the music genre. One of the other nominees is Horizon Forbidden West, which I'm sure was a battle for her to choose between God of War, Horizon, maybe even Elden Ring. I feel like she probably knows that Elden Ring is gonna win, but in her heart of hearts, I feel like she would like to see God of War or Horizon.
I mean, a lot of people love the Horizon series, love the new one. It's a good-looking game. It's like dystopian future, and robot dinosaurs and animals roam the planet, and there's all these rival tribes, and I don't know. There's something special about, the protagonist.
Yeah, like the only thing I know about the story is what she's told me. It sounds cool. Like it sounds like it's got a compelling story in it. It visually looks incredible. It looks fun.
Yeah,
the story sounds good.
That's one thing that's pretty consistent with all PlayStation exclusives. Their games look freaking good.
They look great.
Their lighting engines, their particle engines are really great.
But old Guerrilla Games, their issue was releasing their video game this year with Elden Ring and God of War.
Yeah, I don't know how much this new one improved on the last Horizon. The first Horizon I felt like had very janky human NPCs in AI, and was also like climb a big tower, survey the area. Now you unlock that part of the map. Collect go collect this. Liberate this camp, which we've seen a lot of since like Assassin's Creed 2, 2008. So it did what it did really well.
Yeah, I remember seeing gameplay of it. I think it might have been Demi streamed the first one. I don't think she ever streamed Forbidden West, but I remember her streaming the first Horizon. I think she was trying to finish it before Forbidden West came out, and just like watching the gameplay, like it didn't look like
it
didn't grab me.
Yeah, it had very janky melee combat where you just swing your staff and big wide motions, and the whole thing is she fights with a bow. And if you run out of arrows, you got to craft them real quick in real time with sticks and other resources. And it's just it's a fun game. It just I wasn't like blown away personally, but I know people love it. It's up for I mean the woman who plays Aloy, Ashley Birch, is up for best performance. She's also in Mythic Quest with that guy from
Didn't realize she voiced Aloy.
Yeah. And
Neat.
does all the mocap for it. Motion capture. Yeah. And it's up for action adventure game. Best action game. Is there a difference between action and action adventure? Okay.
I guess one of which you don't adventure in. Just I don't know. Just
yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you for breaking that down.
I figured someone had
Appreciate
to.
It. Okay.
It's gonna get some nods. I mean, it's being nominated for Game of the Year, which is pretty huge. So it'll get some nods. I feel like it'll get some love.
Good for them.
Stray.
Yes.
Also up for Game of the Year. I don't think it's gonna. Obviously it's what, like a $30 game that you play out over like 6 hours.
I think like I beat it in 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I mean, like I still really want to play it. It looks really fun. It obviously just doesn't. I don't think it's going to capture. It doesn't have the scope and the presence to take home Game of the Year. Imagine Stray goes home with Game of the Year over Elden Ring.
No.
The gaming community would ignite.
No, that would be like the Game Awards saying we love Hitler. You would just
don't do that.
Just
Game
destroy
Awards.
Yourself. Yeah.
They have Kanye present Game of the Year, and it's Stray.
Kanye presents just Game of the Year. Wow.
I don't even know what I would do with myself.
Man, entertainment at the max. Love it.
It would be content. It would be content.
Mm-hmm.
But Stray looks great. I really do want to play it. Unfortunately, I don't see that winning Game of the Year. No. And then
Stray. So for everyone at home, Stray, you play a little orange cat, and once again, a dystopian future that's inhabited by really cute robot people who have iPad faces. And you get a little iPhone friend who sits in a backpack on your back. and you're just kind of trying to get
There's
out
a
of the
dedicated
sunken
meow
city.
button,
There is a dedicated
if
meow
that tells
button.
you anything. Yeah.
It's very cute. It's a little platformer, lots of jumping puzzles. But I don't even think it should be up here at all.
I don't either. Speaking of, I don't think it should be up here. Is Xenoblade Chronicles 3?
I've not seen a single second of gameplay from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, or 3.
There must be a very loud contingent of like a dozen or so fans that were like, Jeff Keighley, listen to me. This is our year.
Well, I know Xenoblade's like a JRPG, definitely appealing more to the Japanese market. It's also a Nintendo franchise, right? So they might have just wanted to sneak a Nintendo game on there. And Splatoon 3 didn't make the cut somehow.
Splatoon 3. Game of the year. Elden who? God of what? Splatoon 3.
Dude, imagine being in the production room with the director of Splatoon 2, and they're like, what are we going to do for Splatoon 3? They're like, all right, you see that 2? Add a 1. Ship it. $60.
Ship it. You son of a bitch, I'm in. How many copies did Splatoon 3 sell?
A lot.
How much money? How much money did they print?
They made money.
8 million?
8 million copies at $60 each.
Woof.
Yep.
Hey, I'm sure it's fine.
It's a couple of copies.
I've seen and played Splatoon 1 and 2. I'm sure it's the same.
It's exactly the same.
Man. I mean, hey, congratulations, Nintendo. You know how to print money. You have a money printing press in the form of squid children shooting paint guns.
Speaking of money printing press, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I have no opinions on this because I'm a Gen 1 purist, and the last Nintendo, the last Pokemon game that I played was Arceus. The last one before that was Fire Red and Leaf Green.
Yeah.
Which is basically just a remake of Red
like
and Blue.
10 years off, yeah. 14 years off.
Yeah, and I'm always going to be a Gen 1 purist, so I haven't dipped my toes in the Pokemon pool in quite some times. And Arceus was really my only little side quest into it. So it doesn't look good.
I'll keep it brief. And trust me, I feel ridiculous being a 30-year-old man complaining about a Pokemon game. But when you're passionate about something and you're a fan, and the people responsible for producing content fart something out, you get let down, and the sodium starts to rise, and you gotta bitch a little bit, and you gotta vent. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet sold 10 million copies in 3 days.
Yikes.
Which is absolutely ridiculous. And I'll be completely honest, it runs like it's on Wii. It runs like it's on a Zune. It's horrible.
I saw a TikTok. Let me just make sure I'm being safe. It is. I saw a TikTok of a small ant. He was playing one of them, Scarlet or whichever, and he found out that of his playtime, 10% of his playtime was lost to lag and frame drops.
Absolutely. Anytime you open your bag, anytime you use an item, anytime you use a move, it takes at least 1 second. 1 full second. Nothing is seamless.
So that means for every 100 minutes you're playing Pokemon, 10 of those minutes are you just
sitting there.
You're losing time to the ether. There is nothing happening. There is no game to be played for 10% of your playthrough.
And maybe
But again, this could be before a performance patch.
Well, let's see. Nintendo tweeted out, I think it was 3 days ago, we take feedback from players seriously and will continue to work on improvements of the game after they released a very, very basic patch, just touching some major bugs. Let's see. The whole thing about this Pokemon game was that it's an open world game. You could go wherever you want, see whatever you want. But you look over all these fields and the beaches and the forests, and there's fucking nothing there. There's nothing there.
Like the foliage density looked like the top of Larry David's head.
Anything that is beyond 30 feet from you just does not render into the game. The Pokemon, the people, the trees, the items, it's just physically not there. You have to walk up to it to see it, and it makes this open world feel completely lifeless and unfinished. And look,
I wonder why as well, because like when you look at like Breath of the Wild, Like that came out in what, like 2015?
2017.
Some shit like that. 2017. So it's been out for a while. And if you look at Breath of the Wild, or go play it again, like the foliage density, the grass, the trees, just like rocks and
It's
stuff
a
that
little
are
better.
there. It's noticeably better. I mean, like, we're not talking like we're loading up into like Skyrim or something like that's meant to have like a good looking environment. Like, I know Skyrim's probably a bad example.
Well, Skyrim's on Switch. You know what else is on Switch? The Witcher 3. Great looking game.
That's
true.
Open
world.
That's true.
No Man's Sky is on Switch.
We know
Monster
the Switch
Hunter
can do
Rise
it
on Switch. Yeah, so that's such a lame excuse. And then you look at the Pokemon Company. That's $1 billion company, multi-billion-dollar company. So for them to
it's alienating is what it is. It's upsetting.
Yeah, it's disappointing, and they kind of devalue their brand, but also their fans are so hopelessly loyal that they shipped 10 million copies in 3 weeks. Excuse me, sold 10 million copies in 3 days. God, what am I saying? 10 million copies, 3 days, $60 a copy. That's $100 billion. They're printing money.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous, and it's disappointing for sure. So let's see what they do. Patch wise, look, I'm enjoying the game, but there are moments where I'm just like, oh my god, like what?
$60.
And then I go to God of War, which they poured like hundreds of millions of dollars into to make it look as beautiful and as seamless as possible, and I'm like, Pokemon. It's I've seen mobile games look better.
It must be a very jarring experience to go back and forth between.
Yeah, it's kind
You're
of
like, I got my Diglett. All right, I'm done for the day. I'm gonna go play some God of War Ragnarok.
I found that I'm playing Pokemon mostly before I go to bed when my brain needs to shut down. Like that's the quality.
That's fair.
That my brain can handle. 534p on handheld, 720p docked. That's another thing. They downscaled it from Arceus, which came out in January.
Is it actually 534p handheld?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, to get it to fucking run at barely 30 frames per second.
Yikes.
And on top of that, one of the guys was saying this game suffers from tremendous memory leaks, so the longer you play it, the worse it gets. There's just no more RAM.
How good does it?
We've got no RAM.
How good does it run like straight out of the box? Like when you turn on your Switch, like how is performance like noticeably better? Or is it still just like ugh?
It's terrible. Like you open up I've never seen this in a Pokemon game. You open up your box, which is where you store all your mons, and there's 30, and you have to give it a few seconds to just load up the teeny little sprites so you can see what they are. Like, how did it get worse as time progresses? Like the Pokemon.
It's 2022, man. The end of 2022, and man, that's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah,
I guess that's the upside of really not being into Pokemon much anymore. I could just kind of skirt around the disappointment.
Well, everyone had really high hopes, and of course the trailers that they show off for the game look good. There are things in the game that look good. There's some Pokemon models that look really nice. They've added a lot of textures. You see the fleshy tones and the scales and the light shimmering off of chrome on like Magnemite and stuff like that, and that's cool. But the rest of it looks horrible. Looks like it's from N64, seriously. But shame on me. I mean, I bought 2 copies for me and Alex, so here I am.
Feeding the beast.
Shut up and take my money, I guess.
But hey, it's Pokemon. I can't. But one of these days, we're gonna get an absolute banger. We're gonna get a good Pokemon.
I really don't know.
One day.
I mean, okay, forget how it looks. Another thing is the game is so dated, Rob. It's so dated. The interactions with characters, how they move, like where they're talking, they wave their arms side to side, and where people need to walk up. It's like a cinema scene, quote unquote, and someone walks up to you to talk to you, and they walk at you at an angle, and they just make a sharp 90-degree turn to talk to you. It's all so rigid and so lifeless. Really disappointing.
Like when you're eating the PNG sandwich.
Oh, dude. Friends, if you haven't seen it, go on YouTube and watch Pokemon Scarlet sandwich eating. It's there's a sandwich. There's a 2-dimensional sandwich, and then your 3-dimensional character just pushes their face in front of the sandwich with a biting motion.
We're talking like the picture, the flat image of the sandwich is in the background, and then in the foreground you have a 3D model of your character like making a chomp.
But the sandwich is like clearly behind.
It's behind. Yeah, and it's just like there was no animation like worked on for that. There's a 2D, JPEG slapped in the background, and then there's the animation of a character opening and closing their mouth essentially. It's like yum yum yum. And it was like, damn. Like that was the effort. That was the level of effort that was put in for that.
Yeah, and they were like, cool, ship it. Send it.
Crazy.
It's good. You know what's crazy too? I mean, the Pokemon Company within the last year, they put out the Diamond and Pearl remakes, which weren't very good, but sold millions of copies. Legends Arceus, which sold almost 14 million copies at $60 each. They're good. Like, they've got revenue coming in. They did not need to ship this game before the holidays. They really didn't. And Nintendo's always said, oh, we'll never rush anything. I honestly think it's mostly the Pokemon Company responsible for this. But it was
there's gotta be some oversight, man. Like there's gotta be,
right? I mean,
like I know there's a lot of hands in this pie. Like it's not Nintendo specifically going boom. Here's a video game. Like I know there's a lot. There's a lot involved. There's a lot of people involved in this, but like, man, someone has to look at this and be like, this isn't okay, man. Like we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, and I really never expected Nintendo to join this trend in the video game industry where we're just gonna ship shit and fix it later. We're gonna ship a broken product, and we'll just send out a patch maybe. So just disappointing. But that being said, I have been playing it and I have been enjoying it, but not without the salt.
There's got to be salt.
There's got to be a little salt.
You got to have it. So that's our lineup for Game of the Year. I know we took
I got a little
side trip into Pokemon, but that's our lineup for Game of the Year. I wanted to kind of focus on as we're Game Awards is Thursday, this upcoming Thursday, the 8th. So I wanted to kind of focus on like the main. There's a lot of categories. How many categories are there? There's like 30 something categories.
Jeez, it's like a 4-hour
31
show, dude. Yeah,
it's gonna be a long time, but there's 31 total categories, and this ranges from Game of the Year, like we are just talking about, all the way down to best esports event.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some gaming related stuff in there as well. But I wanted to focus on kind of like the main hitters for what I would imagine most people are tuning into the Game Awards for. So Game of the Year, we have A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So that's our main pièce de résistance is Game of the Year right there. But then following behind that is Best Indie and Best Indie Debut. Best Indie Debut of 2021 was Key and a Bridge of Spirits. So that was pretty cool, even though I think it should have got Game of the Year 2021 over It Takes Two. But nobody asked me. Best Indie of 2022.
You could have exercised your right to vote. Friends, it's still not too late. Go to thegameawards.com and you could vote.
Everyone tweet at Jeff Keighley and tell him that Key Bridge of Spirits should have won Game of the Year 2021. But voting is still open for this year. Game of the Year 2022. If you head on over to thegameawards.com, go ahead and cast your votes. It's not too late. You too can have a say and make sure that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 does not win.
Yeah, do your part.
Do your part.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Vote or die. Best indie was I think a pretty decent lineup actually. We have a Cult of the Lamb.
Loved it.
That was done by Massive Monster, published by Devolver Digital. Devolver is a great publisher in my opinion. Mm-hmm. They put out some good shit. Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, another Annapurna published game, but that's more of a very speed run catered card based shooting game, if that kind of makes sense. It looks really good.
It looks very fast paced, very stimulating. I've heard good things.
It looks really good. Sifu, fucking man, that game is hard.
It looks fun though.
But very good. It's very fun. Stray again, that is an indie game. I know that is also another Annapurna published game, but that's being done by Blue 12 Studio, who I don't think I've heard of other games that they've done. So I'm not sure what
Well, they're up for best
their list
indie
of
debut,
credits.
so this is their first game as a studio.
Okay, very cool. So yeah, so they're doing their thing. So Stray is making its rounds in these nominees, which is cool to see. And then Tunic, which you raged over.
Tunic broke me, and I think I actually permanently damaged my Xbox controller while playing Tunic. So this game, you play a little fox guy who looks like kind of Link from the Zelda games, and it's heavily inspired by classic Zelda. He's got a green tunic on. It's top down. Once again, a little fantasy world. You got a sword and shield.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the plot is. Everyone's dead, and you need 3 crystals to unlock something. The soul of your mom, or I don't know. But one thing
the soul of these nuts.
The soul of these nuts. Collect all 3 nuts.
The infinity nuts.
The infinity nuts. And then this giant pillar comes out of the ground, which is true. It's a great game. It's super stylistic. All the dialogue is written in the native language of like the Fox people, so you can't really read anything. But when you go to the guide or the start menu, it looks exactly like one of the old school manuals that they used to give you in the N64 games. And it's a lot of like visual storytelling, or sometimes there'll be handwritten notes along some of the items that are in English that'll give you hints on like what you're supposed to be doing with these items, or where you're supposed to be going on the map and whatnot. And I love the style of it, but holy fuck balls, it was hard.
It looked hard. It looked hard. It looked fun though. Because I think it's still on Game Pass, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
It is on Game Pass.
I don't know if it's been rotated out. I do want to try it. It does look fun.
I'd recommend it. I fucked up because apparently there's a flame rod, and I didn't get the flame rod, and then I got stuck in this part where I'm a ghost, and they took half my health away, and then I have to go through six waves of enemies, and man, I was just
getting hard. That level looked hard.
Yeah, and of course, the 6th wave is 2 mini bosses at the same time. Like, holy fuck balls, dude. And I didn't have the fire rod, and Jade was doing all this Googling, and he's like, it says use the fire rod. I'm like, I don't have that. So I backtracked for like 30 minutes to go back to get the fire rod, and they're like, oh, if you're at this part of the game, you're locked out. You're soft locked. You can't get it. So not only I was playing a hard game on the hardest fucking difficulty, accidentally
handicapping yourself on the hardest difficulty.
So that game broke me. I never finished it. I talked a lot of shit, but I gotta say it was really well done. And I think it developed by one guy.
Okay.
Over the course
pretty
of
cool.
many years.
It's really hard not to respect like individual, like single dev video games. Stardew Valley being probably the most prominent example currently. Not my game, not my type of game. I wouldn't be able to get into Stardew. But the fact that you get the game you're getting from a single individual person, is pretty insane. So it looks great. Everyone that I know that has played it loves it and has put a crazy amount of time into it. So you're kind of can't do anything but respect a single developer video game, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Andrew Schuldes was responsible for Tunic. Started producing it in 2017. It came out this year.
Damn, hell yeah.
So good for it. It was a cool game. Yeah, friends, it's on Game Pass. Check it out. And get that fire rod, for God's sakes.
Get the fucking fire rod. Don't not get the fire rod. But with all that being said, I voted for Cult of the Lamb just based on the amount of interaction you get with Twitch integration, and just how much involvement that your viewers get to kind of engage in the game with you. They get to help or hinder. They get to join the cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, they design their own characters, and once they were good on the devs, because the Twitch integration with that game really wasn't working the first couple days, the first week or so, and they fixed it, and after a week or two, it was seamless. So
yeah, and it seemed to be almost exclusively just due to the overall demand. The traffic that they were getting on that Twitch extension. So it didn't seem like it was a flaw in like the game or like the extension itself. It was just the amount of popularity that they got out of that game, and the amount of use out of that extension kind of gave them the hug of death, and they were scrambling to get it, in a more working state. It didn't affect the game itself. From my understanding, it just kind of impacted the ability for people to kind of like interact with you and kind of join in on the fun.
Yeah,
So it wasn't like a hard block. It was just kind of a little bummer that people couldn't.
But once they got it down,
it
was great, and honestly, a really fun game. It's like Animal Crossing, but you run a blood cult instead of a cute little island, and it's so well done, freaking hilarious. Of course, there's a fishing mini game, which
of course there is.
Love any game with a fishing mini game. You could always judge a game by its fishing mini game.
Truly.
Just a lot.
But I feel like Cult of the Lamb's gonna take that.
I really hope so. I
do think it will. But I think that's a good lineup.
I'm worried that Stray is gonna take it because it's a cute kitty cat. But at the same point in time, I played Stray for 5 hours, beat it, and I was like, all right, I'm good. I almost like everything.
I almost feel like it would get best indie debut over best indie.
I
feel like
so.
that would be my guess.
I'd be okay with that. That would be okay.
Because what do we have on best indie debut? Again, Neon White Stray Tunic. And then there's Norco, which I'm not familiar with, and Vampire Survivors, which again I'm not familiar with. So I can't really speak too much on those. But Neon White, Stray, and Tunic, these are all debut indies, so they're both getting some love in both categories.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll probably end up taking debut indie, which I voted for it for debut indie. And then I voted for Cult of the Lamb for best indie. So that's kind of my prediction as of right now. I guess we'll kind of see how that goes, but we'll see. I think it has a very good chance. Stray has a very good chance of winning the debut indie. And then moving into best ongoing multiplayer category. So this is live service games are very in right now. So a lot of companies are providing free games, free to play games with ongoing support and content streams, all that sort of stuff. So we have, these are basically all the big hitters that everyone is still currently aware of, as they're still the popularity is still there. So we have Apex Legends, done by Respawn and EA, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14. I personally couldn't really give two shits about Final Fantasy.
It's still got a huge player base though.
Apparently, if it's up for for best ongoing. Fortnite, I mean, don't really have to get into that.
Dude, I also never thought I'd be saying this in my 30s. Fucking love Fortnite, dude. What a fun game. Like once they took the building out, I was in.
I like, my whole thing with Fortnite was like, I can do one or the other. I just can't do both. Like if you want me to build, I could build. If you want me to fight, I can fight. But if you're expecting me to build and fight, I can't. My brain is not plastic enough. I'm not a child that can develop these motor skills any longer. So it's just, you're getting one or the other.
Yeah, what do I look like, a 12-year-old with a Roblox t-shirt on? I can't build and fort at the same time.
I can't do that. Like,
it's also so annoying when you're gunning someone down and all of a sudden they build like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in front of you.
Like, how did you? They build they built a whole Soviet condo block,
and he pops out of the chimney and snipes you. You're like, how the fuck? How did this just happen?
It's like, great, cool. 12-year-old Santa Claus came out of the chimney and annihilated me with a goo gun, and then hit the gritty on me, the dirtiest gritty anyone's ever seen. Gritty. But yeah, so Fortnite needs no explanation as far as ongoing games go. I did vote for it just because it's. So if you kind of just strip away everything away from Fortnite and you just look at it as from like an objective, like binary standard, it's essentially it came out after PUBG. So the original mission for Fortnite was the PvE. Like it's what their their survive together or whatever it's called, or save the world, whatever the PvE
when you actually build a fort at night. Yeah,
at night. So that was always intended to be that was Fortnite, the game. And then PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, that came out, and PUBG they pivoted and they started developing what we have, Fortnite now. And then their main mission of save the world, that became the paid the paid accessory that goes along with free to play Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at Fortnite for what it is, it's a battle royale, massively successful battle royale that, looking at the licensing that they've been repeatedly hitting, you have Star Wars, you got Marvel, you got Alien, you got God of War, like you got Kratos in there, like
the NFL, the FIFA, right?
Exactly, yeah. You've got FIFA, you've got like I have a Broncos jersey, like I have a you can get like a football, like I can run around as a Broncos player, like so they just the amount of licensing that they're able to secure continuously. I just unlocked Spider-Gwen.
Yeah,
come the fuck on,
yeah,
insane. So like the licensing that's there is just that leaves them with effectively infinite content that they can add to the game. Weapon balancing and like new content, so they're adding new weapons, they'll take stuff out, they're the whole rotation of damn near weekly. Yeah, it's like they'll take stuff out if something gets broken, or if it's OP and it needs tuning or rebalancing, whatever, they'll vault it instantly and they'll work on it and they'll put something else in. So just the amount of handling and work that they're doing to provide content. They're changing the maps, they're adding new areas in the map, new points of interest on the map.
Yeah, it shows
the amount of stuff.
Yeah, they're keeping their player base stimulated, and on top of that, it's just like a silly, fun game with like a very low, I don't know, entry point in terms of like skill. Like you could just jump in, play, and you'll probably get some kills. You'll get into some bot lobbies. Like you'll have a good time.
Yeah, they do a good job of like easing you in too. Like when you first start up the game, like you're not instantly thrown in with people that have been playing the game forever. Like you start in your bot lobbies just to kind of get your reps and kind of get your feel. And it seems like they have a fairly decent matchmaking rating to kind of help with who you're getting matched against once you are done with your bot matches.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So there's a lot that goes into it that makes it, in my opinion, the fairly obvious standout. Because like it's a silly looking cartoony kind of art style game that's heavily targeted towards like kids or like younger audience, whatever. Like you can hate Fortnite because it's 12-year-olds doing their fucking flossing, like what, like
I think it was, but at the same point in time, you look at all the pros, they're all in their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
You say it's a kids game, but
sure. But I think the art direction is
it's cartoonish.
I think it seems like there's a fairly clear demographic, and obviously again Pokemon's demographic is typically aimed towards younger people, but there's tons of 20, 30-year-old, 40-year-old dudes that are like, yo, this shit is fun.
Because we've been fans for fine. 25 years.
Exactly. So it's all that aside, just the structure and the efforts and the success of the developers and their team has put into the game itself, like that has to be acknowledged and has to be respected. Stripping away their demographic and their intent, whatever, all that aside, I think those efforts are very obvious, and I think, in my opinion, very clear standout.
Yeah, and it's working for Epic Games. They pulled in projected to reach $6.27 billion in revenue, up from $5.7 billion last year. Yeah,
crazy.
So Epic Games absolutely killing it. They also invested $2 billion into the metaverse. Epic Games.
Ugh.
What were you thinking?
Gross. Yikes.
Oh god, the metaverse looks horrible.
It really does. Well, hey, maybe after they invest, maybe we'll get Mark Zuckerberg flossing on Tilted Towers. We don't know.
The Mark Zuckerberg skin. Oh my god.
Oh man, I'm gonna do that and floss over in Tilted. It's gonna be great. Best multiplayer. Again, I think another big area that people are looking for is multiplayer games are, I wouldn't say bigger than the people that are looking for single player narrative games, but multiplayer games are always gonna have a very big presence.
I'm not sure what the statistics are, but I wouldn't be surprised if multiplayer games, and especially the free to play multiplayer games, have a way bigger player base than
for sure
the single player action adventure. I'm happy to see that genre is still alive, and I want to kudos to EA for producing the Callisto Protocol, which is single player action adventure horror game that just launched yesterday. Unfortunately, it's not getting great reviews. It's apparently got a lot of issues. It's short. It brings nothing new to the table. Apparently what they've done with the Callisto Protocol in terms of photorealism within the game, like your character model looks
insane.
It's a beautiful game. It's really awe-inspiring to see how they've pushed the boundaries that way. But in terms of gameplay and narrative, it seems like it brings nothing new to the table. And someone also said they beat it in like 6 hours, just over 6 hours, which is kind of disappointing.
That's rough when you're paying $60-$70 for a game.
I do
think that needs PS5. To be. Yeah, I think that's a little disappointing. I do think that of the complaints that I haven't really done too much digging into it, like directly, but like hearing kind of like your recap and kind of some of the other stuff I've been seeing just around, and a lot of it does seem like subjective criticisms. So like bringing nothing new to the table, I think that's fairly subjective. So like I feel like a lot of the complaints they're more subjective in the sense that like Pokemon Scarlet runs like shit, and that's really not a subjective opinion.
Yeah,
like that's a quantifiable. Yeah, that's something that you can observe and go, yes, that is a factual statement. So I'm hoping that, because I really do want to play it, and I'm hoping that I can
me too
enjoy it despite some of those complaints. And that doesn't mean that they're not valid. Like if there's a large contingent of people saying it's pretty short and it's just kind of boring and doesn't really do much, like that's that has to lend credence to something.
I'm excited to play it too, and I'm sure I'm gonna enjoy it. The problem is the $70 price point.
Yeah, that's rough. So unfortunately, it might be something that we have to wait for the Steam Summer Sale 2023. I don't think
well, here's another thing. Apparently, it runs like absolute ass on PC. I watched a review. This guy was running it on a 4090. And there's just moments in the game where the stuttering rate just drops down to like 2 frames per second. He was saying at one point there's a jump scare with a steam pipe burst, and no matter what he did, he kept trying to reload it to see if it would clear up. Nope, it just drops to 2 frames per second on a 4090 top of the line graphics card. What is that, like a $2,000 graphics card?
Something like that, yeah. Things are expensive. I'm hoping that's something that's like, that's just more of like an optimization thing that they can hotfix. If that's just hard baked into the game and it's just not done well, that's really concerning.
I mean,
but also that kind of goes back to the point you mentioned earlier, is like why are we in this position in the year of our Lord and Savior 2022 where these games are being released either unfinished or horrifically poorly optimized. And like, if you're running a 4090 on like a $5,000 computer, like we shouldn't be running into these issues, especially by a game that's being published by EA. Of all, like it's just there needs to be some accountability for how these games are being shipped, and there needs to be.
I mean, they're getting
put.
really mixed reviews. I think they were sitting at a 70 or 80 on Metacritic. Let me check this out.
It was like 74, I think, is when you.
But like, I think Game Informer gave it a 76. Okay, so not bad.
Okay. It's not terrible. Like, look, at the end of the day, it's not terrible.
GameSpot gave it a 5. IGN gave it a 7. Game Informer, I think, gave it a 5 or a 6.
Typical IGN. 7 out of 10.
Dude, usually it's an 8.
Stick to your guns.
So to see a 7, it's just, yeah. If it's not ready, don't ship it. Right? Yeah. Did Cyberpunk teach us nothing? Did Fallout 76 teach us nothing? And I think it comes down to. And I was watching an interview with Glenn Schofield, who was the director of Callisto Protocol, the director of OG Dead Space. Also found out he directed Lord of the Rings: Return of the King on PS2, which I fucking loved.
Oh, fuck yeah. That's pretty cool.
But he was saying video games are just, it's a lengthy process and it's extremely expensive to make. So I think at some point the studio says, look, we gotta fish or cut bait here. We gotta ship this to recoup at least some capital that we invested into the project, and then patch it later. That's my theory. I really don't know. I mean, with Callisto Protocol and with Pokemon, I really think it's get it out before the holidays.
For sure, yeah. It's especially, yeah. I don't know. And EA does this shit a lot too. So maybe it's not just maybe being a little harsh. I think it's just because like the holiday time in general is when every video game wants to get out, because obviously Christmas is here. Fucking, mommy and daddy are buying little Braden his Xbox and video games for Christmas, like whatever. And it's like everybody wants to get their game out for the holidays just in time for that Christmas morning, like fuck Pokemon. Like everyone wants that moment. So like I get it, but like at the same time, like there's gotta be some accountability with how shit's been going. And I know this is nothing new. This shit's been going on for forever, but like, man, there's gotta be, it's at some point we just have to be like, enough is enough.
We need a big trending hashtag that says if it ain't ready, don't ship. Hashtag don't ship.
Hashtag don't ship, dude. Let's get this shit trending.
Not hashtag don't shit. Everybody should be shitting regularly. All right.
Yes, you should be regular. If you're not, have some fiber.
Some all brand butts. Get some fiber in you.
Get some fiber. Whole grain toast. Get some Kashi cereal. You just gotta
stay hydrated.
Stay regular. Yeah. Stay regular, my friends.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Anyways, best multiplayer game. We've got Call of Duty. Speaking of shit. We've got Overwatch 2 is in the lineup for best multiplayer. Man. 2022.
Wow. What a dumpster rolling down 5 flights of stairs. And I'm a huge Overwatch fan, and I've been enjoying this game, but
I've been playing so much of it.
I know. It's just
but that gives us the authority to say it's not the best multiplayer of 2022.
For sure not.
It's essentially Overwatch 1.5, and every other week there's another hero disabled for weeks at a time because shit is broken. The economy is downright a spit to the face. This is in my face.
The $20 skins in game. So for those of you who don't know, I'd say within 6 months of the original Overwatch's launch, Overwatch is a big multiplayer game. You play a bunch of heroes. It's 5-on-5, lots of fun. It's a good game. I'd say 6 months after it launched back in 2016. It was on sale for like $25-$30. And you bought it, and then every Halloween, every holiday season, when there was an event, they would release these really well done exclusive skins. And you could just play the game.
Their art team is fucking incredible.
Oh, absolutely. But you used to be able to just play the game and earn the skins, right? You bought the game, now you get to fucking play it and earn the stuff in it. But now it's free to play, but each skin is $20.
And these are largely, a lot of these skins are, and not even just skins, but we're talking skins, emotes, voice lines, sprays, highlight intros. All of that shit was all already in Overwatch 1. And then it all gets carried over to Overwatch 2. And that stuff that was obtainable for free by just playing the game are now locked behind $5, $10, $15, $20 paywalls. You have to pay $20 for content that has been in Overwatch 1 for years that you were able to unlock for free and earn for free by just playing the game. So, and that is, if that's not an insult and a spit in the face of your player base, then I genuinely don't know what is, and we're doomed.
See, this is something that I would love to see change in the video game industry, and it probably won't, as Apex Legends just hits $1 billion earned through microtransactions, and Fortnite's making billions
Diablo
of dollars.
Immortal. Very topically, one of the worst examples of microtransactions. They made billions of dollars in the first couple months of it being out.
Let's get a figure. Diablo
Immortal, for those that don't know, was a mobile game, a mobile Diablo game that was very famously absolutely hammered at and just raked over the coals for how predatory their microtransaction scheme was. And there were people spending tens of thousands of dollars just to get a single individual, I think their rarity, I think they have mythic rarity or 5-star rarity items. There was one streamer spent, I think it was $15,000 or $25,000 before he finally got one single 5-star item out of the game.
Oh my god!
And so they didn't make billions. I was exaggerating, but it looks like, what is that, 300 million? Is that what you were seeing as well in global earnings?
So this article was in September. It hit the top 10 highest grossing mobile games with $100 million in revenue, up there with Genshin Impact, Candy Crush, PUBG Mobile still up there. Honor of Kings.
Mobile games bring in a lot of money. Like I know,
God.
like particularly in the U.S., like mobile gaming isn't as big, but in a lot of like the Eastern countries, a lot of Asian countries, mobile gaming is huge.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like Japan and China, Korea, they have a huge mobile gaming market. So like it's always weird for me to see, like PUBG Mobile or like Apex Legends Mobile, Diablo Immortal, like all these like mobile games are literally making millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and billions of dollars sometimes, and it's always crazy. But Blizzard is not alien to putting out these ridiculous gaming economies.
I don't know if you saw this. So recently, if you engage in a microtransaction in Overwatch, they might send you an email about a survey. And in the survey, it asks, how likely would you be to purchase a mythic skin at price $44.99 USD?
What?
Yeah, from very likely to very unlikely.
I hope they're getting flooded with absolutely no. Very no.
Yeah, bundle like 3 sprays, $5. Emote, highlight intro, souvenir, $20. Legendary skin, weapon charm, $30. I would not purchase any of these. Is the fourth option.
If they cut their prices like in half, so like was it the mythic skins, like the gold skins in Overwatch they're always like between like $19 and like $21 like just for the skin.
Mm-hmm.
If they cut that to like $10-$12, I would be buying them all the fuck over the place. Like if I could get a mythic skin for like $10, I'd pay $10 for a mythic skin. If they were in Overwatch 1, they need to be cheaper. I will not pay like large amounts of money for content that was in Overwatch 1 that I was able to earn for free.
No,
like I get that this is a live service game that they want to make money off of. Give me new shit that like I'd be a little more willing to spend the money on. But again, $20 for a single skin, especially when that was in Overwatch 1, is going to be a hard pass, and I will not give them a single dollar of my money until they have that. They fix that, because I'm okay with loot boxes if they're done. Like I think Overwatch 1 did loot boxes very well.
Because you earn them through playing the game. You could buy them if you wanted, but you played the fucking game and you got the fucking stuff.
They would give you them during the events, like Halloween and like Christmas events, like Lunar New Year. Like they would give you like 5 boxes or like 3, whatever. Like they would give you some loot boxes that you had a very high likelihood of just for free getting mythic items. You could earn the loot boxes by playing. You could buy them if you want, whatever. But everything that you got out of those loot boxes were 100% cosmetic. There was absolutely nothing that gave you any advantage in the game whatsoever.
Yeah,
so there's no pay to win. There's no advantage you get for spending money, whatever. It's all, oh, this looks cool. That looks cute. That sounds cool. That spray looks dope. Like it's all it's all just cosmetic stuff. And like, that's fine. And so like, you can hate microtransactions like as a concept, that's fine. But like when you recognize that like what you're getting out of these loot boxes, these microtransactions aren't anything that's directly affecting your experience in the game, aside from, again, like the aesthetic, like I think that's okay. And we got the exact opposite of that. We got the loot boxes taken away. We got the rewards, the type of rewards that we would get from Overwatch 1 was taken away. Playing the limited seasonal events in Overwatch 1, you would get like the Halloween, the Junker Scion's Revenge or whatever. You would earn a skin, typically like a like the legendary or mythic skin for free, just for playing it.
Yeah,
you get some shit. And then this time around, it's all like battle pass XP and like voice lines. And there was no skins, nothing. There was no skins earnable this year. And everyone was like, this is absolutely atrocious. This is horrendously ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's insulting.
Look, it's free to play, right? And they got to make money. It sucks that even at free to play, if you can't earn anything. You pretty much get nothing. There's some free stuff in the battle pass, but all that stuff, it's just terrible. The sprays and
they're like reskins, like recolors.
They give you the
worst skins.
They give you the worst stuff for free. $10 as an entry point for the battle pass, I think I'm okay with. $10 every 2 months.
They need to do like what Fortnite does. Like you get V-Bucks in the battle, like you get enough V-Bucks in the battle pass that you just bought to buy you the next battle pass, or you could use it to spend it on your in-game content.
You get your money back if you complete it. If you play the game, you get all the stuff plus your money back. And
the monetary value in the battle pass in Overwatch is no, they didn't. So there is rumors. I don't think there has been anything specifically put out by Blizzard as of yet. but there's a lot of very heavily rumored rumors about them potentially fixing the economy and the store, the battle pass. So like I know they already did confirm. They mentioned that for the holiday, the seasonal events, I think starting with this Christmas one that's coming out soon, there will be I think it's a legendary skin that you can earn by playing. So they did take some of the feedback. They are addressing it a little bit, but I think their overall economy needs to be looked at, and the type of rewards you're getting from the battle pass needs to be addressed. But there are some rumors that with season 2 coming out on Tuesday, that there will be some changes to the economy and the quality of rewards, which I think is very heavily needed for the game to really stay in good faith with the player base.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how much revenue Overwatch 2 has generated since it launched on October 4th.
I hope not much. I really hope not much. They need to see, like, they need to be aware that, like, this, because talk is cheap. So if the player base is like, yo, fuck Blizzard, this shit sucks, and then they turn around and they're posting record profits and they're making $100 million before the end of the year, we're fucked, we're doomed, and this is never going to change. Everyone's going to bitch and complain, but then like the top 1% of the 1% of players playing Overwatch, if they're spending thousands and thousands of dollars, that's never going to change, and they're gonna outdo us and what we're trying to do.
Yeah, so it's gonna take like a viral movement on Twitter to be able to change some of their predatory practices. And like the trend right now is the game is free, the battle pass is between $10 and $20. Everything else, I mean, the market price for a skin these days is $20. Fortnite, it's about 15, 20. Call of Duty's 20. Apex Legends, I wouldn't be surprised. I think they still have like the loot boxes, right? Or you could buy currency outright as well, in-game currency.
Yeah, Apex is kind of bad with that, but
Valorant's the worst. $55 for a pack of weapon skins is,
dude, they have like individual insane. Knives that are like $45-$50, and they don't even look good. Individual items, one knife for like $45. It's like absolutely the fuck not.
It's outrageous. But like,
I will not.
It's win-win, because overall the devs are going to make as much money as possible. They're taking the golden goose, they're chaining him up, they're putting a little iron mask on him, and just bleeding him. They got a basket underneath, and it's just filling up with eggs. But at the same point in time, because it's free, like, the kids can get in. The people who can't afford to buy a $60 game every month can get in. So it keeps the player base alive while also stimulating the max amount of revenue. So we're kind of in a shit position.
There's a balance involved, though, and like the feedback seems to be resoundingly negative right now with how they're doing it. Like you're not seeing this level of negative feedback around Fortnite, and that's because their economy, like, yes, some of their stuff does cost around the same amount, but it's the value you seem to get out of it, and the way that you're able to kind of obtain like the V-Bucks for that stuff is much less, like, I guess predatory is the word. Like, it doesn't feel, the economy in Overwatch 2 does not feel good or fun or make me want to spend money.
No.
It's just it feels shitty, and that needs to be addressed in some capacity. So, with all that being said, I do not think that Overwatch 2 deserves or will win best multiplayer.
I didn't vote for it. I voted for Splatoon 3.
I think that's ridiculous, and I voted for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, no, I've heard a lot of good things about this game.
It's fun.
I think I'm gonna get
Splatoon 3 is literally Splatoon 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I'm still on the fence. Like, this is $70 no matter what you're buying it on, which I'm still really salty about.
Yeah.
But I mean, Warzone and DMZ is free, and I can play that and enjoy that. I don't know. I'm still on the fence if I want to spend. Honestly, what really left a bad taste in my mouth was every cosmetic that you bought in Call of Duty Modern Warfare from 2019. All of that is gone. Like, none of that transferred over. I gave them a lot of money.
I gave them $40. I bought 2 skins at $20 each.
I spent a lot more than
which
that,
I'll literally never see again. I feel like
never
such
see it
a
again.
dummy.
It's gone. It's gone forever. So that really sucked. That was a kick in the dick. So that's influencing my decision a little bit to kind of be on the fence about if I want to get it. So I don't know. But again, as far as like the multiplayer experience, I do think, because Overwatch 2 is flanked by Call of Duty Multiverses, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Imagine spending $40 on a multiplayer game you'll never play again.
Who the fuck would do that? only idiots would do something like that.
So real quick, I'm sorry, Rob, I gotta tell our lovely listeners.
Fuck, man,
dude, there was one night we were doing multiverses for community night. Multiverses, it's Warner Brothers, and it's like a Smash Bros. Beat 'em up game. So you got Batman and Shaggy from Scooby Doo, and all these other wacky characters. And we're playing it. We're like, oh, this is fun. And Rob was like, oh, you guys think we're gonna be playing a lot of this? And before any of us could answer, he's like, cool, I bought the starter pack, the $40 starter pack. Dude, but you know what?
Laugh it up. I'm an idiot. I get it.
It's all right. One day this game's gonna be hot, and we're all gonna play, and you're gonna have all the characters on.
I'm gonna be the only one with the full roster.
Yeah. Here's a good example of balance done well in a free to play game. Multiverses is free to play. You start off with like 4 heroes, let's say. And if you play the game, you can unlock them all for free.
Stop it. That's crazy talk.
You can, if you just play the
Unlocking
game,
something for playing the game, that's never been done before. That's crazy.
How do you keep your player base alive? Reward them. How do you make a video game addicting? It needs to be rewarding. It
needs to be
the baseline of video games.
It's as easy as that. Hire us. Video gaming industry, we'll fix it. I promise.
We'll fix it. Honestly, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge, pretty freaking good.
It looks fun, to be honest.
6-man co-op online or locally.
That's on Game Pass, isn't it? Or am I crazy?
It was on Game Pass. It was a pretty freaking fun game. It was well done.
We got to play it sometime if it's still up on Game Pass.
Yeah, we should. It was a good time.
It does look fun. So I think I want to revisit this topic post Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of have all of our predictions in place. Again, voting is still open, so if you guys would like to toss in your votes for game of the year, best multiplayer, best indie, what have you, all 31 categories, go through them. You don't have to place a vote. If you want to skip some, you can. But let your voice be heard. Throw some votes. Let's see if we can make sure Splatoon 3 does not win best multiplayer game. But that's at thegameawards.com. It's held every year. It'll be Thursday, December 8th at like 7 p.m., some shit like that.
I'm so excited to see what Jeff Neely's wearing this year. What was it, a year or two ago? He wore that blazer with all the zippers. That was fun, right?
Yeah. He's got some drip.
He's got a little drip. Oh, he's got some hot sneakers too. He does the suit.
He's no window lady, but he's got some drip.
Never forget. Oh my god.
Never forget window lady. So yeah, I think it'll be cool to kind of revisit, these topics after the Game Awards. So once all these awards have gone out, we can kind of discuss and unpack and argue and rejoice and be angry and kind of run the gamut of kind of what we saw. So we'll do that. We'll discuss it next week and we'll kind of unpack it. So that'll be cool. And then to kind of tie in, I know we mentioned last week that we want to do kind of a movie of the week ever since we started our movie night in Discord.
Dude, I'm sorry I missed Train to Busan this week.
You gotta watch it. You gotta find some time this weekend, maybe, if you can, to watch it. But yeah, we did a Train to Busan this week for movie night. Thriller, unfortunately, did have to miss. Sorry, Brandon.
I know.
Unfortunately, did have to miss it. But Train to Busan's a Korean zombie horror movie on a train. It's very good. It's very emotional. Forgot how emotional it was. But it's really good. I do think you would like it. Especially if you like zombie stuff, which I know you do. Korea does great zombie horror. They do great horror in general, but they do really good zombie stuff. But it's a really good movie. And I think we're going to be doing we're sticking with the train theme. I think we're doing Polar Express next week.
No, are we?
The Christmas spirit.
Is it time to move on? We are. Do we start doing planes next week?
Well, Polar Express is still trains.
Okay, I guess
the Christmas movie. I
guess so. And then we're doing Gremlins.
Is that an executive decision?
I would like to do Gremlins. It's a democracy. It's not a dictatorship. It's a good Christmas movie.
I haven't done Gremlins in a while. I'm down for Gremlins. I'm cool with that.
Dude,
we also need to do Violent Night when that's available. Starring our boy David Harbour. I've been hearing good things about it.
I really want to see it.
I've been hearing good things.
I love David Harbour. Rated R Santa Claus against assassins. Like I'm so in for it.
It's like action comedy Christmas movie with David Harbour as Santa Claus. It's like John Wick meets
The Santa Claus.
Like the Santa Claus. Yeah, it looks fantastic. I've been hearing some good things. Like I've actually heard it's fairly like, it's got like a good emotional element to it, but it's also just silly and goofy fucking, like just what we've been seeing in the trailers. It looks really good. I'm really excited to see it. But we have to do that. I'm hoping it's available on streaming platforms before the end of the year. So I would
cool.
like to I'd like to get that in for Christmas stuff. But yeah, it'll be cool.
That'll be dope. I guess we're gonna wrap it up here.
We've got Thrills Giving to go to.
Thrills Giving, baby. 3rd annual Thrills Giving
2022.
We're gonna get together.
It's our friends giving for the community that we deeply adore. And so we're gonna hang out, laugh, maybe cry, play some video games, just kind of hang out,
Yeah.
Do our thing with some friends. Everyone, we have a lot of Canadian friends, and Canadian Thanksgiving happens in October sometime. Crazy to think about.
Yeah, right.
Even though they're not, it makes sense. They're not American. They're not celebrating American Thanksgiving. But it's always weird that they celebrate so much earlier than us. And so we're, we let everyone, all the Americans, kind of do our proper Thanksgiving towards the end of November. And then early December, we kind of do like our own Friendsgiving. Yeah,
because everyone's busy Thanksgiving weekend. We never want to do it the weekend.
So busy.
People got shit going on.
Yeah, people got shit going on. So now we're gonna hang out. So we have to get over to that. That's a prior engagement. So we're gonna go hang out with some friends.
To all the community members listening, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed us talking games. This is more of like, I feel like, an informative episode. We gave a lot of information. Talked a lot of games.
Next week will be a lot of opinions on, because we're basically just kind of run you through the nominations for what's to be expected, or what to have happen next week. So next week we'll really unpack the what has happened, and we'll get some. I'm sure there's gonna be some spicy takes in here, because I'm sure this is not gonna go 100% the way that I'm hoping it's gonna go, and I'll have some words.
Let's see.
So we'll unpack the opinions of that next week. So if you want more salt and more complaints, oh god, it's coming.
And let's hope Kanye does another interview this week,
and
we can talk about that. We can unpack that. So we had to talk about it.
We had to. I think it's going to be a common occurrence that we want to just dip our toes in the current events and just kind of let you guys know what the fuck is going on in the world.
Yeah, what's going on? We'll keep you up to date.
And right now, it's this fucking Kanye fiasco, man. Good God. So hopefully, he's not the subject of topic of conversation next week, but you never fucking know, man. It's 2022. Shit's crazy.
I feel guilty for enjoying it as much as I am.
I mean, it's a morbid fascination to watch a prolific public entertainer like Kanye just absolutely torpedo his
commit
legacy.
seppuku on InfoWars.
It's Kanye West commits seppuku on InfoWars.
Why are you
featuring Alex Jones?
Why are you doing this?
God, what a word salad that sentence is, and it's fucking true.
Yep.
That's the crazy part. Crazy.
Wild times.
Anyways, we will see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.
Episode 3 of the Super Sodium Bros. We'll talk more games. We'll discuss game of the year.
More games, more fun topics, a little bit of salt.
A little bit of salt.
Just for
tasteful
you.
amount.
I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Rob, I love you too. Don't you ever forget it.
Next week. I never will. I love you, bud.
I love you too.
All right,
see you guys next week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bam. Fucking.